Okay, let's talk about Connor McDavid's contract extension. So today, this morning, October 6, 2025, Connor McDavid signs an extension upon his current deal for 2 years at $12.5 million. This is absolute insanity because this is just an extension of his current contract. So he's under contract this season for one more year at $12.5 million. So he's just extending that for two more seasons at the exact same cap hit, which is insane because that means this is going to be the deal and the most valuable contract in the history of the NHL. From being the new record setting guy years ago of the highest paid cap hit in the world to now being the best value at that exact same dollar figure is really funny. But you know what this means? This means Connor McDavid is giving the Edmonton Oilers the chance of a lifetime to win multiple Stanley Cups with those 2 seasons. Win 2 years in a row. Because what this is going to allow and what McDavid is doing on purpose is this is legacy, right? What do you do when you're already, like, I will never know, but when you're already a guy that is being paid $12 million a year, $12.5 million a year for 8 years, plus on top of all the sponsorships and ad deals and marketing and every other kind of thing he had with aloe and whatever brand of gloves and sticks he uses and whatever commercials for any company he makes, whatever, right? Everything that Connor McDavid and jersey sales, who knows how much money this guy actually makes in total, right? And to me, he probably, like, what do you do with all this money when you already have it all, and when your contract expires, you're going to sign for, because in freaking 3 years when he will be a free agent, his cap hit will probably be like, what, $26 million a year or something? It is insane. But anyways, this guy probably is looking at it like, I already have all the money in the world. I need a Stanley Cup. I have a legacy. I have to be the greatest player in the entire world that has ever played in the NHL, and that has to happen with a Stanley Cup in the same place the great one won it as well. He has to be the history legend maker, right? And this contract is going to allow the Edmonton Oilers to make deals that, if other kind of cap hit aside, they would never have been able to do. Look at the list of free agents coming up next offseason. Currently, we got Kyle Connor unsigned, Artemi Panarin, Jack Eichel, Martin Necas currently. We got Alex Ovechkin. He will be a free agent currently. Alex Tuck. But that's kind of the list. Artemi Panarin, right? Could you imagine an Artemi Panarin added to the likes of this core? Unreal. Unreal. A Jack Eichel. Could you imagine a Jack Eichel on this team? Just putting together the super team of our generation. A team with so many superstars and Hall of Famers. Like, it'll be an insane thing. And you might be wondering, well, their issues are goaltending. And I hate Stuart Skinner. I agree with you. But there isn't really any big free agent names that'll be released to have the giant amount of dollars and cap space that they'll need to shed to someone. Like a Sergei Bobrovsky will become a free agent next offseason, but I don't see him leaving Florida, and I don't see him also, like, I feel like he'd retire at that point, maybe even. Or maybe he won't, but I also don't know if he would go to Edmonton just off of purpose or whatever, so I don't know. But there's not really any, like, huge good goaltender names that'll be out there at that point, so, like, that's, like, kind of 2 years down the line if you really want to look for, like, a good goalie at that point. Who knows what the world would look like even by then. That's too far to look out to. But for this deal to happen, Connor McDavid has allowed the Edmonton Oilers to go out there and sign a superstar's name for a giant dollar figure that they would never have been able to do before. And with the cap rising, it's probably not going to matter anyways. They just gave Jake Wallman, what, $7 million? Was it $8 million? 7, 8 million? 6, 7 million? I don't know. I don't know how much it actually, I can't remember right. Is it 7 by 7, I think, actually? Yeah. Crazy that we live in a world where Jake Wallman, who is a great defenseman, but $7 million for him 3 years ago would have been the most crazy thing any team has ever done, and now that's just is what we expect. We're in a landscape for the cap that we have no idea what's going to happen anymore, but with this contract under the books and the Oilers being able to plan for the next 3 years to be in contention to win a cup within that span, this deal, and with Leon locked up and Evan Bouchard locked up, they have all of the main key players that they need to build around. Obviously, there's concerns with guys like Matthias Ekholm, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins getting older, Zach Hyman just falling apart. There is a lot of concerns, right? But you get Isaac Howard. You have Matthew Savoy, however you say his name. I keep seeing people say it differently. They have a lot of great players and young players growing up that will grow into those spots as well. And especially in 3 years, they will be participating contributors to this team. But man, Connor McDavid, how can you hate this guy? He is the greatest player in the world. Took a huge team discount so he can win a team for the history-making. Like, he clearly could have left and made the most money of any hockey player probably ever, and no one would beat him until Gavin McKenna at some point. But he didn't. He wants to win a cup. He already has all the money in the world, and I respect that. And McDavid, I hope you don't win one, because I don't want Edmonton to win one. But what a crazy story this is. And it makes you start looking at Kaprizov's contract like, what's going to happen with that? But even though that's probably like, what we should expect going forward with the superstars. Because Artemi Panarin, when he hits the market next season, oh boy, what is he going to get? Who knows? I couldn't even give a guess, because at that point next season in a year, who knows what superstars will be getting paid at that point. But yeah, so now this contract, it just sets a reality up that we could see anything happen. We could see a super team where Jack Eichel and Martin Nate just sign on this team next year for $10 million or $12 million each or something. They might have the cap space for that open. And they just are extremely loaded to a point that no team could ever beat them, and they win 2 cups in a row. But we will see what happens, because for this season, I think they're screwed of winning a Stanley Cup. I think they might get far again in the playoffs, but I don't think this is the year. But those next 2 years, they can plan for it now, and it's going to be scary to see what happens. But that is all I've got to say about this contract. Crazy stuff, crazy news. And Kyle Connor and Artemi Panarin will be on the Edmonton Oilers soon, and we will not be anyone else's favorite team will be sad, because every time they play the Oilers, they will get scored and lit up 1,000 goals a period. But that is all I got to say. Thank you for watching this. Too sweet. Have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.